So let's move on to our last sort of, I guess, task that we're going to go into. I wanted to sort of change the rules just a little bit because I was thinking about mine at least in our who he played for teams because I was like, first off, I even personally have never heard of some of these clubs, so I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it a little bit
That's
to
amazing.
who he played for.
Country.
What country is he playing in? Because
Fair.
I could not name a club in two of my countries that
Okay.
that I picked out guys for. So I'm like, it's not fair to be like, hey, Chad, which Andorran club does this guy play for? If you don't know it, then you're an idiot. So
Yeah, I know. Well, that was the thing we kind of talked about, like to what extent we were going to be doing these kind of before the episode, and it got me nervous when you were talking to me about some of the guys because I'm like, shit, I hope this dude isn't going to be asking me which Swiss club certain guys are on because that's even outside of my European knowledge.
if it was
so
a Swiss
I'm
club,
glad.
it would be by far the biggest club of any of the players that I've
Jeez.
compiled here.
Jesus, okay, that's crazy. I love you talk about all the time. You love when we kind of give this blank slate of topic, and then we're kind of able to pick for ourselves how we interpret it. It's funny. A lot of mine, I tried to go with guys who were in. I don't know. I mean, look, it's not like you're going to sit here and name guys on Premier League teams and be like, man, did you know Raheem Sterling played for Arsenal?
Yeah.
It's not going to... There still has to be some element of, wait, what the hell league is he in? So it's difficult.
So you more went for obscure clubs, whereas I went for obscure leagues?
More so, I would say. I mean, but the thing is, it's not like, of the ones I have, I only have one guy in a top 5 league, so it's not like I'm sitting here...
I mean, like, this guy plays for Marseille, can you believe it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have Joffrey Kondogbia in there or anything like that.
God, who did I see
who, of
playing
course,
the other day?
got sent off in his debut for Marseille last season, which was awesome.
God, who did I see playing the other day that was just like, what the hell? I think it must have been an FA Cup game where I saw someone playing. I was like, that guy either A, still plays, or B, plays for this team. I don't remember who it was, though. But
it's funny to see those.
Yeah.
It's funny to see those.
Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Let's go one for one.
We both came up with about 5.
Yeah.
So
I'll
this will
start
be
off with a player. This is kind of a layup, and it's more just to talk about this person because we just talked about this recently. And that is my boy Nabil Fekir. What league does he play in?
He's playing in that UAE league, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure the name of the club is Al Jazeera.
There we go.
I actually looked it up that day. You told me Will was playing in the same league as him.
Al Jazeera. Shout out to my boy Will Collins, who's playing in that league now. This Al Jazeera club, they also have Kerem Rekic, who used to play a decent amount of Bundesliga football, the Turkish center back, and also Mohamed El Neni is in the team along with Nabil Fekir. So it's just like
it's funny to see the clubs where it's like you have no business having multiple guys that played in top 5 leagues, much less one. But somehow you have 4.
Nabil Fekir 4-2 in 7 games this year in the UAE Pro League. So
the crazy thing is he's like what, 32? I don't even know if he's that old.
Yeah, he's 31. He's not even washed. He's just not at a big club.
So that's insane. He's got to take the cake for like most random of any of these.
I know it was
when you look at him career-wise, not really, because he's always just been like, hey, where can I get a paycheck? But just talking about like where he's at compared to his age is crazy.
I know this is a little bit before your time, but he was kind of one of those early guys when I first started getting into football that was like the 18, 19-year-old, basically what Ryan Cherky is now to people, I guess, where it's like, yo, there's this 18-year-old kid that plays for Lyon. I'm telling you, he's going to be the greatest player of all time. And then he just wasn't. But then people, window after window, were like, hey, Liverpool linked with Fekir. Arsenal linked with Fekir. Oh, if they get Fekir, it's going to be over. And it's just kind of like, he was one of those guys for a long time. Now he's playing in a really big side.
Would you say he was kin to Houssem Aouar? Like those
Oh
two
yeah,
were kind of
Awar,
yeah.
and then I saw your boy Maxence Kakare just got a big move.
God, I was gonna say he was like the next in line of that right before Shirky. Like it was like the Kakare. I mean, Kakare was getting linked with people like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, could this dude play for Bayern one day?
I should have added this into my list, but I sent it to you on Instagram already. Have you checked your Instagram DMs from me?
Oh yeah, the Enzo Lefebvre signing.
Enzo Lefebvre. Me and Chad were huge fans of the Football Daily channel back in the day. And this dude, for an entire, probably year-long period, it was like, hey, do you need a midfielder that can kind of do little bit of everything? You got to sign Enzo Lefebvre. You got to sign Enzo Lefebvre. He's now on loan in fucking Sunderland from Roma. So he's on loan from a team that I said maybe had the worst 2024 of any club in Europe to a championship club. So, I mean, it's kind of hitting rock bottom for Enzo Lefebvre after being so highly touted probably only like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, when he was coming out of
Lorient.
I think of Lorient when he made the move to Rennes.
Yep.
Because if you like, we could honestly do a full Rennes podcast of like, wait, they've had like when they do the stupid thing on Twitter where it's XI
If they never sold players,
anybody. Yeah, like Rennes low key would be like the best team in France probably.
I mean, he was kind of signed as like the later Camavinga replacement, like I guess.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's a little bit. I mean, Camavinga obviously was more of a defensive,
true DM.
like a true DM. Yeah, Lefebvre you probably look at as more of like a free 8. But yeah, I mean he goes in that laundry list of people.
Very quickly, if you want to look for a player that's going to be a bust, the number one position that they play, when they go to like a really big league, like La Liga or the Premier League, free 8.
Yep, 100%.
Free. It's like, dude, this guy he plays in France. He's a free 8. Yeah. He picks up the ball from the right wing. He dribbles it sideways across the pitch, goes to the left wing, and then runs at people and hits it top bins from 35 yards out. It's amazing. He's going to be the best player in the world. And then he comes to the Premier League and never plays.
I enjoy talking soccer with you because I'm still in the stage where I'm a bit green. Like, I'll actually admit it. I'm still green a bit just because I don't have as much historical, enough history to really look back on and be like, man, I remember the other 5 guys who had this exact profile who didn't turn out to be shit.
Are you now building it up?
Yeah, I'm starting to. Because, like, the free 8 is one, and then the other position where as soon as someone says this guy plays here, I am immediately out on them, is when someone says his position is, quote, off the striker. Like, as soon as someone says that, I am running for the hills.
Hey, you know who the
main
current
reason
guy
I'm
is
out
right
on
now.
Omar Mamouche.
Boom.
Yeah. No, I was listening to, I don't even remember what it was, but I was listening to something. Oh, it was your boy Pat. It was him, Henry Hill, and Jalab. Which, by the way, we got to do an investigation of Jalab going from Zach Jalab to Jalab once he got his own channel.
Well, it's because Obaseki couldn't say Jalab, so they had to change his name. It's like
Fair enough. But he was like, oh yeah, Omar Mamouche, and then Jalab was like, all right, well, where do you play him? And Pat's like, oh, you just throw him out there. It's like, dude, isn't that literally like how many years in a row do we need to hear the just throw him out there and it fails miserably?
He's not quite a winger. He's not really a striker. He's not really a 10. There's only one guy that I've ever seen successfully play that position, and that's
Griezmann.
Antoine Griezmann, correct.
But
now,
that's
the guy
because
making
he had enough
case,
of a work rate.
Correct. The guy making a case for it right now is Julian Alvarez. No, Havertz is the worst player of all time. I'm just kidding. I'm not 100% out on him, but I hate him
I was
right
going to
this
say,
second.
you weren't saying that a week ago.
I don't hate him. I'm not out, but I hate him right this second. But it's like Julian Alvarez, if you were to be like, hey, he's a winger, no. He's a striker, no. He's definitely not a 10. But he can kind of be effective in all those different spots. So I guess it's just, if you want to play that position, go to Atleti, unless your name is Joao Felix, who's another one of those guys where it's like, just he's an attacker.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If your position is attacker, I'm out. I'm out completely.
Yep.
That was a long way to get all the way around.
Now Bill
who he played
Fekir.
for. Yeah. I'm gonna go with my first guy. A guy who's actually kind of been on the move a bit in the past couple of years. Had a spell where felt like every big team. This was another one of the FD group of.
Oh God.
Man, if you need to create, if you play a back three, and you need a creative left-sided guy. You need to go out there and get Robin Gosens.
So he came through at Atalanta. That's sort of where he made his name.
Yeah, he did.
I couldn't even give you a good guess of like where he's been the past couple of years. Was he the one I saw playing wingback for Germany in the Euros? Was that him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Gosens. I think
because like him, Castagna, Meunier, they've all kind of melded into like one person to me. So Robin Gosens, we're guessing the league he plays in.
Yeah, this one you would be able to. I mean, you definitely know this club like 100%. But if you just the knowledge that you're giving me, if you just guess the league, then I won't hate you at all.
All right, so just again, I have zero clue is basically what I'm coming down to, but I'm thinking failed German player. I'm just gonna go that he's playing in the Eredivisie.
Ooh, okay, not. I don't want to say too much, but not a bad thought process or guess. But no, he's actually in Serie A playing for Fiorentina right now.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
But also, what's weird about Serie A with me, too, is there's so much, like, up and down. Like, a club will make the Champions League one year and then finish 17th, and no one will bat an eyelid, like what's happening with Bologna this year. But...
Well, Bologna, at least, like, you can kind of... You can understand it. They had their 3 best players and manager taken, so it was like, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Good job,
Which
Arthur.
I'm still in on him, just so everybody knows. But yeah, so yeah, Robin Gosens, there was no way I was ever going to get that. Anything really happening off of the shores of England, I'm not really sure about. But then when you start getting into failed German players that came through in Serie A and then moved out and moved back in, that's when it's just completely out of my wheelhouse. I have a fun one. Go on.
I'll fully admit, I thought I completely whiffed on his Inter move. I thought his move to Inter was going to be like insane, but it just ended up. I mean, DeMarco was just a way better player than him, and still is.
Whoa. Oh, okay. See, this is why I got it wrong. On loan from Union Berlin.
Yeah.
I thought he was still in Union Berlin, so that's why I was. That's why I said Eredivisie.
Union. They're another one in that group where it's like, all right, Champions League, and then you're battling relegation the next season.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a fun one for you. This is for those listeners that don't know. This is one of Chad's favorite all-time players.
Jesus.
You might know this one because of how high-profile clubs he's played for. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting.
That's so funny because he was on my list.
Damn. Well, I guess we can just talk about it then.
New York Red Bulls.
New York Red Bulls with Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah. So New York Red Bulls, it's just kind of hilarious because I thought we all agreed that failed players are now supposed to go to Saudi.
Saudi, yeah.
But now
well, there's like a.
It's a tier. It's a tier.
Well, partly that, and then also it's like, it depends. Like, are you an ethical person? Like, if you're an ethical person, you're going to the MLS. You're not going to Saudi.
I love
that. Or
that.
something like. Oh, yeah, I know. As soon as they try to bring like ethics and shit like that into the game or into like transfer conversations, I'm over it. So.
Well, it's even crazier because I don't know what really people's perception. People also hate the United States outside of the United States, so they'll be like, "Oh, you're going there where they allow school shootings." And it's like, dude, like what? I've seen stuff like that, like Messi going to Florida where they have like a bad governor. Can you believe he's doing that? It's like, dude, I don't think Messi's up on Floridian gubernatorial politics. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I think he got offered a huge bag, and David Beckham's there, and Suarez and Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets are there. So I think that's why he went, but I could be wrong.
And Neymar soon as well. Don't count that out. And he makes 3 appearances, and people are like, he's the best player in the history of history of the league.
Look at this compilation of what he did against Orlando City today in 16 minutes.
Bro, look at these two. He had 2 turns and a back heel.
And he did a rainbow flick. He did a rainbow flick. It didn't come off, but the fact that he tried it,
yeah, he lost it.
Yeah, the fact that he tried it just shows that he loves football. So since I got one stolen from me, I'm gonna go straight back.
Go ahead, original smile.
I'm going Chucky Lozano.
Chucky. Okay, this one I actually know because motherfucker. He was actually linked with a move to San Diego FC, which I'm not sure if they started playing in the MLS or if they're about to.
This is about to be their first season.
Okay, because they've been heavily linked with De Bruyne too for some reason. Like for whatever reason, it's like, hey, he's just going to San Diego. I have no idea why. Dude's from Belgium and has played in England and Germany for his whole career. But people think he desperately wants to be in San Diego. All to say, Chucky Lozano plays for PSV Eindhoven, though. I'm 99% sure.
Well, now I got to redo my research because I had him down at San Diego FC. Yeah, he plays for San Diego FC. He just left PSV for San Diego.
Okay.
So I knew there was. If you would have wrote it all out on a short answer question, I would have given you like.
Yeah.
I would have given you like an 80.
Partial credit.
Yeah.
Mr. Kidd would have given me half points.
Exactly. So yeah, San Diego FC, their first designated player, and he's kind of hilarious to me because, again, this may predate your real soccer watching time, but there was a time around that 2017-ish range where he just first got that PSV move where it was like, oh, U.S. versus Mexico, it's Pulisic versus Lozano. Like, each of them got a guy.
That's the matchup.
And now it's like Chucky Lozano sucks ass. And really, he had a pretty decent year during lockdown for Napoli, where I think he scored like 15 in all comps or something like that.
I remember he was actually decent. It had almost like an Almiron type of... They had like an Almiron type of run. Sorry, Lucas Vasquez wouldn't be playing. Sorry, I need to focus.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it.
No, he had a run for Napoli where he was almost like an Almiron type, where it was like he had like a year and a half, 2 years, where it was like, hey man, shoot, could this guy be a consistent 8 to 10 goal scorer per season? And it was like, nah, he really just had 1 year, and you guys are just continuing to feed off that 3 years later.
Well, I know you'll be shocked to hear this, but it was a winger that did absolute numbers in Eredivisie who went to an actual league and didn't do numbers.
Yeah, we've never seen that before. So
the guy I got to hold my hands up with is Cody Gakpo. He's actually like a really, really good player, and I was just out on him simply the fact that he did numbers in the Eredivisie. Because actually, it's like an inverse with me. The more goals you score in Eredivisie, the less I think you're going to score. Once you make it to like a actual real league where they have like clubs with above £1 million to spend on salary. So, but yeah, I also like the fact that Napoli has become now like sort of. I
don't even know what they are.
Well, they're like a factory for people that have a really, really good season and then never do anything again. Like, I remember this time last year, Kvaradona is the best winger anyone's ever seen. He's an amazing dribbler. He's way better than guys in the Premier League. Like, he's way better than guys like Salah. He's way better than guys like Saka. He's way better than these Premier League wingers that don't have flair. And now he's refusing to play for the club or something, and he's asking for a move, even though he's put up like 5 goal contributions this year or something like that.
Can I do a quick second on him and his...
Please.
Not really him, but more so on the PSG side of things, because, as you said, it looked like he told Conte 2 days ago, or Kvaratskhelia told Conte 2 days ago that basically he's like, yeah, I'm not playing for the club anymore. I want to leave because PSG are making this huge offer for me. Where I guess it said they're looking at like 4 or 5 times his salary.
I saw was 5, yeah.
Probably putting him at close to, I would say, £200,000 a week, if not more. I mean, I have no idea what he's on right now, but it would have to probably be at least $200K.
Right.
Or he would have to be on at least $200K, probably going to PSG.
Right.
I don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand it because PSG are like, when you really look at it, they're like they don't actually have a transfer plan at all. But did they not? They spent. I'm pulling it up right now. They spent 50 million on Desiree Dewey this past summer, left winger from Rennes, part of that Rennes factory that we were talking about, who's been really, really good for them and really exciting, I would say, in the last 2 months. Started playing a good amount, even at false nine, some right before they
Your
went into
favorite
the
position at PSG.
Yeah, Kangin Lee's spot, right. And then the year before that, they signed Bradley Barcola for 45 million, who's a left winger, Ousmane Dembele for 50 million, who's a right winger, and Randall Colomwani for 95 million, who's like a left winger / striker. Why do they just keep signing left wingers? Like, do they not? God, that was an amazing tackle. How do they not, like, just kind of settle on a guy? Like, to me, you already know how I feel about Barcola. I actually think Barcola is, like, probably the best player in Ligue 1, maybe second or third. Probably the best, I would say the best attacker on that PSG team, no doubt about it for me. And now they're going to go and find someone who's playing in the exact same position, because the only position Kvaratskhelia has ever played and had success in for a club is on the left wing. You know, he's played in a front two. He played in a front two for Georgia at the Euros. It was fine. I think Mikatadze actually probably ended up overshadowing him during the competition.
Which is always good.
But yeah, exactly. The guy who's moving to the exact same league for like a quarter of the fee when he moved to Monaco. But so I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm kind of mad at PSG. I thought their transfer business was starting to make sense post Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, but now it's just kind of reverting back to the same old stupid shit.
I don't know. They're kind of one of those clubs where I actually will give a pass to their fans being pissed off and like, oh, they're only about money. They're only about because of what you just said. Like, if you want to spend money, I love that. But also, can you do it in a way to make us better, like a better team, and not just be like, oh, exactly. that name is – because that's what it seems to be. Over the past 10 years, it's like, oh, that name's out there, I'm going to get him.
Right.
Oh, that name's out there, I'm going to get him. Like, there's just – especially in the modern game, there's just no way they were like, you know what's going to work? Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, front three.
Yeah.
Like, in an era where – every player needs to defend, needs to defend, and every player needs to press, and all this other stuff. There's just no way they thought, we're just going to give these. We're going to defend with 7, and it's just going to work.
Exactly.
So,
and it'll be fine because we're playing Danilo Pereira. He's like, oh, okay.
At center back.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't you hit me with who he played for?
All right, Sebastian Aller.
Oh, God, I just saw...
Been in the news a bit.
I saw he moved somewhere, but, again, I know for a fact he didn't move to England, so that failed West Ham move ensured that he was never... Scored an absolute worldie of a bicycle kick in that West Ham shirt, and that was about all he did.
That was his full contribution there.
I would say that he's probably playing back in Eredivisie as well.
You're absolutely right.
Hold on.
So... Uh-oh.
He's playing...
There's no chance he gets a club.
Is he playing for Heracles?
No. Herenveen you're thinking of is the club you're thinking of.
Hey, Martin Odegaard is about to get his shirt retired at that club, so, when he went on loan from Real Madrid.
Madrid, yeah. He had some good spells there and at Vitesse, but no, and you could argue Vitesse is a breeding ground for number 10s. They had Mount, too. But no, he is playing in the Eredivisie. He's playing for FC Utrecht.
Oh, okay.
Now, he's still owned by Dortmund, was on loan for the season at Leganés, who are basement dwellers in La Liga. And then halfway through the season, after he scored 1 goal for them, they broke his loan off, and now he's on loan at Utrecht.
I love it.
So, yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Wild career kind of last year or so for him.
Again, kind of another example of, sort of that people that score goals in certain leagues that I still don't buy.
Understand, like, yeah.
Where it's like, because even, God, I want to say recently, this dude actually had a pretty decent year.
He was fine, I think, his first year at Dortmund. I'm almost positive he was like actually okay.
Yeah, he only scored 9. So, okay, shocker, who he scored a shit ton of goals for before he got that Dortmund move. In the Eredivisie, he scored 34 in all comps. Now, to be fair, he scored 11 in 8 games in the Champions League.
Yep. He was good for them in the Champions League.
Yeah, for Ajax. So, I mean, those Champions League goals you can't really fake. So I guess I'll give him credit for that. But then went to Dortmund and scored 12 goals in 41 games in all comps. Yeah. Leganes played 9 games, didn't score. Now, like Chad said, on loan in Utrecht. So it's just kind of like, I don't want to kill the guy because obviously, you know, he had the whole cancer thing, and anyone that can kind of come back from that and be a reasonably decent player, I'm going to give him credit for that. That's why I'm so happy when David Brooks scores. David Brooks has actually been pretty decent for Bournemouth this year off the bench, but when David Brooks scored the other day for them, I think it got called back, unfortunately. But
one of those players you just all root for. Everyone rooting for.
Yeah, exactly. No just like how we're all rooting for this to get called a pen in the El Clasico.
Oh, I mean, 100% is.
We'll see. To me. We'll see right here.
Yeah, this will determine how much
Florentino Perez has these guys in his pocket.
We'll see.
All right.
We can definitely afford it more than Barca, that's for sure.
Facts. Yeah.
All right, yeah, it's a penalty. You can just tell by the way he's walking.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go with your boy, who you said you still have some stock in. You haven't been able to get your hands off of the stock, which I think the stock for this guy is similar to my T-Law stock that I still have, where it's like, it's actually not even worth like hoping that it's going to even rise a little bit ever again. But Abdou Diallo.
I'm going to do one better than what you're thinking, because I actually know what club this guy plays for, because I know it's Al Arabi in Qatar, and the only reason I know that is because him and Verratti both moved there last summer from PSG. There was some conversations about like, hey, like, does anyone know what's going on? Like, can we get some financial fair play involved for any club other than City or Barca? Like, come on now, please.
Does Marco Verratti deserve to be in that list of players who just never got that move? Like, obviously, I know he played for PSG for like a decade, but it's like every single summer it was like, oh, Liverpool need a midfielder. Who are they going to get? Oh, Verratti's out there. Oh, Arsenal need a midfielder. Who are they going to get? Oh, Verratti's out there. Oh, Barcelona needs a midfielder. Who are they going to go and get? Verratti. It was all the time. It was Verratti linked with some huge move that never ever happened. Obviously, playing for PSG, you could technically say it happened, but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm more on the PSG side of things than I think you are. Like, I give them more credit than I think you do. So I'm gonna say he was already at one of those clubs with PSG. But if you would argue, I mean, if your argument is he could have moved to Barca or Real Madrid or any of those like super, the handful of clubs that are above PSG,
right? Because
they have the history. Then he never got to that level, and quality wise, he probably was there. But I don't know. I'm not. It does feel like he wasted it a bit just because we never saw him in like a competitive league, really,
right,
where we were watching him week in, week out. But I don't know. I feel like the people who know still know.
It was more sad because like you would see him play in the Champions League in like the knockout stages, and you were just like, dude, this guy. I just wish I could watch him week in, week out. I kind of feel the same way about Nicola Barea. I'm not saying that he needs to get some big move because obviously he's done very well in his career.
Yep.
But just as a person that really only watches the Premier League, I would just love to see him play in a league where I can just watch him every single week because he's always more than impressed me when I've watched him.
He is, and Barella is a really good player, but I also think, like, it's kind of funny because there are also some of those guys where, oh, yeah, they can do that. Or you think, like, man, I can't wait for this guy to get the move. And then when it happens, you're like, damn. And I'm going to use the classic example of Remo Freuler was one of the best midfielders in Serie A. Moved to a relegation
newly promoted team.
Yeah. Moved to a newly promoted Nottingham Forest, played for like half a season, and then they were just like, yeah, we're good. So he would honestly be a great person for who we play for now. Last thing I remember, he was at Genoa. something like that.
I actually looked this one up
no
recently.
idea.
Bologna. He still plays for Bologna.
Oh, okay. Fair. You know what? I think Genoa. I think I was thinking of Malinowski. I think he's playing for them right now. But I mean, he's another guy who like it's just. And Barella's like, let me be clear. Barella is like definitely better than either of those guys. But it's just like
Similar mold.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
So, mother F.
Wow.
I told you Lucas Vasquez doesn't need to be playing first team.
I mean, that was an incredible
No, he
goal.
doesn't. Yeah, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's fair. But I mean, the Serie A guys always kind of make me laugh. Serie A midfielders, because I hear all the time, "Oh, these guys are so good. They're so good. They're so good." Milinkovic Savic is going to get some huge move eventually, and then he gets it to Saudi. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm glad I heard this guy's name for the past 10 years. I thought he was going to go Koulibaly on me and just move to someone way too late. And it's like, this is the guy you guys were talking about for all that time. It's like, well, not really. He's 32 now, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, that would have been. I mean, that'll be perfect when he moves to West Ham in a year.
West Ham gets their hands on some weird players.
I know. They're like this. They're like the stomping ground for like, hey, who's the guy who was wanted by the Prem 4 years ago, but now actually wants to move there? It's like, just send him to West Ham.
The Mohamed Kudus one, though, still doesn't make much sense to me, because he was like actively being linked to really big clubs. And then it was like, yeah, he's not going to Arsenal or Liverpool or these other clubs. He's actually going to West Ham. It's like, what?
The Kudus one was still weird because it was like, exactly like what you said. There was a point where it was like, all right, Arsenal or Liverpool, who's he going to? And then it was like, and even PSG were kind of in the mix for a bit. And then it was like, all right, nah, like he's not going to go to a super club. Like he wants to go to a club where he knows he's going to be able to play a whole lot. And then it was like, all right, he's going to Brighton. And then it was like, all right, nah, he's actually going to West Ham. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, at least at Brighton, it was like, all right, this makes a little bit of sense, like development club, take the next step. And then I was like, West Ham, like, what even is West Ham's, identity? So,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how annoyed are you of people pretending that players already play for teams before they actually get the move? When it's like, well, we all know this guy's going to this club this summer, so. Because right now, it's pissing me off personally, because everyone's pretending that Isak has already signed a contract with Arsenal. They're like, oh yeah, so they're going to have Isak, and last summer or I guess even right now, it's like, oh, we all know that Trent's going to be at Real Madrid next year. We all know Mo Salah is not going to be at the club next year. It's like, do we? Like, is that how that works?
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, look, I talked about how I'm young in the games, so I don't have those years to go back on and be like, hey, just look at this as the example of why you should never believe a transfer rumor. But the Hazard one alone, I think I was just barely there enough where it was like, hey, we're getting this dude every window for 18 straight months, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, then it actually happened. And it's a case of careful what you wish for, so we're good on that one. I did have one last guy that I wanted you to guess. This is the last one I'm gonna hit you with. Jerome Boateng.
I mean, I would have said retired, but
retired.
God, Jerome Boateng. Actually,
he's actually playing somewhere, and he's made some appearances.
He doesn't still play for Marseille, does he?
No, he does not.
I thought I had that one.
And that was Lyon. He was at
Lyon. That's what it was.
Yeah.
God,
no.
so
he's actually been at 2 clubs since then.
Ah, shit. So let's go. I mean, it'd be very lazy of me to say again a German player in the Eredivisie, but I'm gonna go that he plays in Switzerland.
Not a bad guess. Actually, Austria. He's playing for Lask. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Jerome Boateng. 37 years old, I think.
Nice.
Still can't move.
It was actually really sad with him because there was a time where I had so much Jerome Boateng stock that it actually was incredible. They called the SEC on me, and they're like, "Hey man, you can't buy any more of this stock. Like you actually own the entire company, and there's no stocks left for you to buy." And I don't know, it was just so weird with him because it just fell apart basically all at once.
So quickly.
It was like he's the best. I personally thought he's the best center back in the world around that 2016 time, like when Bayern was not winning the Champions League with Pep, but still they were like very, very, very good. So I thought he was the best center back in the world at that time, like that Euro 2016. And then like by the time even the World Cup came around, he was just unplayable for Germany and Bayern. They actually couldn't play him in big games because he was so immobile and I guess not smart enough to make up for it, which is weird because I don't know.
But then it's crazy because he had a renaissance in, like, he was the starting center back for them in their treble season for Bayern. It was him and Alaba was the partnership, and it was like, what's even going on here? But yeah, hell of a career, Boateng. Hope it ends soon.
City legend.
Yeah, he was, but fair enough. Farrington.
Wow, so he actually played at Salernitana or
Salernitana.
As you can tell, it's probably my first time ever saying that club's name out loud. So,
yeah, I was gonna say, team that constantly goes from Serie A and Serie B. There's no chance you knew that.
Yeah. One last guy I kind of wanted to talk about, just as a joke, my boy Gregor Strakowiak.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would have to guess he's playing in Poland, but I couldn't name a single club in that league.
I'll do you one better.
Other than, oh geez,
playing. Who are you going to say? Lech Poznan?
No, who's the green? Legia Warsaw, I think, is the. I know he was there at one point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So he actually is now playing at. He actually never played for Legia Warsaw, funnily enough. He played for Lokomotiv Moscow, who you might have been thinking of.
Okay. You know what? Yep.
So he went Russian Premier League to Greek Super League, on loan to a Saudi team, then on a permanent to a different Saudi team, and now he plays for a Northosis Famagusta in the Cypriot First League, which is in Cyprus.
I got
which is barely a country.
That's crazy.
Mind you, this dude was the starting DM for a for a back-to-back Europa League winning team. Won a couple trophies with PSG, but never really nailed down a spot. Had that Premier League season with West Brom where they were legitimately horrible, which was I mean, they finished bottom, which, like, at that time, it's like you're literally the worst team of all time, basically, if you're finishing bottom of the Premier League.
Was that during Grady Diangana's spell there?
Yeah, that same Mateus Pereira season.
Yeah.
So
they're playing a nice back three.
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of a wild time to be in the Premier League. But my boy Gregor Strakowiak, when he was, like, looking for a move away from Sevilla, I wanted him badly at Arsenal. And
then, thankfully, you didn't have to deal with.
Yeah, we dodged that bullet. Thankfully, but yeah, who he played for, it just kind of shows how quickly it can end for some of these guys. And
soccer is especially unique because the guys just don't give up. Like the guys, when it's like there's evidence that they're done, and then it'll be like 4 more clubs. Like Boateng's gonna play for 2 more clubs before he retires.
Well, it's also the fact that A, there's so many leagues, and B, like in basketball, when you're past it, it's like, all right, I'm going to go be the 15th man and play 7 minutes a night or whatever. You can't do that in soccer. It's like, are you going to play games or are you not? So It's like, hey, this guy's putting up full 90s in Cyprus. Like basketball players, it's like, oh, he's playing 9 minutes a game for the Nuggets, and he just kind of stands under the basket and does this.
Exactly. All right, DeAndre.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps up our 21st episode. I really thought we had some interesting topics. I really enjoyed the commissioner for a day topic.
Absolutely.
What I'm going to try to do for you guys is try to release some smaller videos of our segments to make it maybe a little bit more digestible, see if that can maybe, pique some people's interest a little bit more. And, just really, really excited for, 2025. This is going to be my year.
Calling it.
I don't know how or why, it just is. But obviously everyone fingers crossed that That'll be nice. That Real Madrid can stage a comeback and
don't even waste your time.
And beat Barca today.
Everyone knows this trophy doesn't mean anything. So
cool. Without any further ado, appreciate you guys listening in. Comments, for stuff that you'd like us to talk about. Good luck. Everyone watch the NFL playoffs because, the college football playoff is now meaningless. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 22.